Hi, I'm Simon. There's an enormous number of changes between version 7 and version 8, especially in the UI. I'm going to talk to Michael, our user experience designer, about why we've been making these changes. Hi, Michael. I've been sort of enjoying getting my teeth into the UI and doing some of these new changes. Just want to hear sort of a bit more on the reasons why we're doing them, I suppose.
Yeah, hey Simon. Good to be here and happy to go through this and show you and talk about the results of all of our hard work that we've done for our users.
Sure. Yeah. Here's the this is a look at the new UI. We've basically collapsed a lot of what we formerly had different sections here on the side. So we had my access, we had my devices, sorry, my tasks and credentials. We've now collapsed them into one view. Do you want to say a bit about why we did that?
Yeah, definitely. There are a few changes that we're going to talk about today, and they all came about from different reasons, but it's really backing up just a bit. We wanted to show our end users some love in this past quarter as we worked on a few things. So we talk about usability of a product. We want to, what we're really talking about is how a user gets along. How does this product help them in their everyday life? And a big thing you'll hear in usability is friction. So with any PAM solution, there's going to naturally be a little bit of friction. It's just the nature of the game. But it started with research. So getting in the context of our users, sitting down with some of our customers and watching them use the product. So you mentioned the changes with the collapsing of items. That's really around this area of navigation. So how one navigates PAM.
Yeah.
So in particular, that change was a result of seeing how some of our users were hopping between pages, having to search, go back and forth.
Yeah.
The navigation wasn't quite nailed. So we brought it all back to the homepage called My Access.
Ultimately, access sort of comes in all sorts of different forms, doesn't it, in it? And I guess instead of us putting a restriction or our understanding of how that access comes, we just allow the end users and the super admins of their estates to sort of define what works best for them.
Right. It really is about personalizing your own view, what works for you, our end users. And if you happen to like the former iteration where tasks were on a separate page, you still have that delivered to you by clicking this kill over in this quick fire panel. Boom, that is where all of your tasks would be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and you can combine these. You can combine a search of with say if I want to search all my SSH tools or map tools, then I can combine those two with a search item that I can
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
definitely. Another thing we found is if a user does have an RDP tool, they love to use those RDP tools. This user here, they don't have that assigned to them, but you could click on RDP and you can see every device that you can RDP to.
Sure.
This user here, SSH might be something they like to get to quite often. That's another popular one. Click the SSH. That shows you everything that you can uh, SSH into.
Right. Yeah. Um, so what's this also what's this part of the panel about? Recent access. What was that? What's the driver for that? Adding these.
Right. We found that a lot of our customers work in cycles or on projects. So I might have an interest in a particular machine or group of machines uh, for a couple of weeks, and then that changes over time. It's this revolving cycle. So recent access, what this does is it populates first and foremost the things that you've been working on recently, as you might expect. And as your behavior changes, those things move down the list, and the things that you're more interested in or have been interested in lately rise to the top of that list. So just a quick access to what you are likely to be interested in.
Sure, that makes sense. That it makes sense that a typical project would follow that flow with a couple of devices being used very frequently and then just go and then not being used, say, for another month or so.
Right.
I've I've noticed yes, so this feature here is our requesting access feature. But I've noticed that we've got some more things which look linked to that in the side. And so these are two new panels, and really we've been working on how to develop the JIT feature, which was called JIT for just-in-time access, into more of a scheduling, fully blown JIT plus access in the future. And I think it might be a bit interesting to show why we went down that route, why we've added this sort of more functionality to JIT.
Yeah, definitely. So JIT, as you mentioned, just in time, is kind of a trending thing within PAM. That means it's really the previous iteration definitely allowed JIT in a fine manner. I click the icon and click the duration I wanted and maybe provide a reason. What that did is it required an approver to be on the other end, ready for me to click approve. Okay, user, you can get in there right now for the time that you've requested. So that does serve a lot of people very well, but there is this greater need for some more flexibility about scheduling that in advance. We found that our users often knew that they would have to access, say, a Windows server or a set of servers to provide, let's say, 3 updates and apply patches. That would, in the previous iteration, require me to sit there, click, hope it gets approved, do my work, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, all requiring this other approver to be there right when you need it. Now, our end users can request multiple instances in advance. They often know that they are going to have to do this weekly or monthly. They can get that set up, give the approver plenty of time to review, and hopefully approve the request. And there's another little bit in there that we can get into when if the approver feels that the requester has not provided enough information, there's a way that we provided them the platform to negotiate and provide that information.
Sure. So say, I can really imagine something for like after hours work, like as typical use case. You don't want to be doing maintenance work in the middle of the day, and after hours work, your approver's not online anymore. So so I can imagine that being useful. I'll request approval for that. I haven't given a reason there, and then I'll move to the approver's view on see what it looks like on the other end. Approvers Montgomery. Montgomery. He goes to the Manage Approvals page and sees the new request from Abby Anderson.
Yep, there it is.
Then he can have basic conversation.
Yep. Yeah, this is where we really build out the story for our auditors. They want to be able to look back at each of these sessions and document or at least see that maybe what work was done, why the person requested it, that kind of thing. So here you've just done exactly what I would do, which is ask, hey, what is this for? You haven't given me a reason. So now Abby on her end would get to go back into this, provide the reason. And so there's this platform where it's all documented. Auditor's happy, approver has that confidence, knowing the information they need to know about granting access, because their name's on the line. So this really is for them.
What was the maybe we can have a quick look at what the introduction of the other page, the My Requests page. So I'll move back to Abby's interface, and then we can talk a bit about that.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So we've introduced this page is entirely new. We found, I think it was because we wanted users to be able to have a quick view of all the requests they've got upcoming. That seemed like a more important thing now we've got scheduling rather than just-in-time access. Is that sort of where this was coming from?
Yeah, while we were testing this, we kept getting the feedback that users wanted or expected that view to see all things they've requested.
Yeah.
Especially if you think of an organization that works primarily on request-based access, they're going to need a page and probably want to sort it in time of upcoming access first or some other one of these other dimensions.
Sure. Yeah.
But it really is a very useful thing for requesters.
Also, requests that have been and being used, being withdrawn, they just fall in this, and so you can keep your active and upcoming requests cleaner. You can just see what's relevant to you.
Yep, active and upcoming. That's probably what I, as the end user, care about most. That's what our testing told us. The recent also serves another purpose. Again, those auditors, they love their documentation. So once I've wrapped up my work, perhaps on a maintenance piece, or I had problems with an update to a server, I can locate that instance and still comment, just as I did before when I was clarifying for the approver why I needed the request in the first place. It's this platform to just stack all my notes so that I can more easily adhere to my company's policy around requesting access.
Sure. There you can see the same panel that you get on the My Access page, and an ability to launch the requests once they've become approved. Cool. Well, thanks, Michael, for talking to me. That was some good insight into why we've been making the changes we've been making.
Yeah. There is one more very powerful thing that we did not mention in this call.
Oh, yeah.
And that's back on the searching. Again, knowing my devices in my estate, there's this piece of meta information that lives under the device name. So there I can see one example, London, HR, Joe, Zone A. This is coming from a place in PAM admin where super admins can help better describe a device. So PAM, if I'm an end user and I'm looking for something in my specific, in this case, London, perhaps this is a larger organization that's got assets geographically dispersed, and I only care about things in London. Sure. I can type that into my search field, and that list is instantly filtered. Very flexible. Doesn't have to be location or department based. It's just how our admins describe their IT estate, passing that on to the user. User can then get to that thing they care about quickly.
Yes, so very important. Super admins can effectively have some control of allowing users with hundreds of devices to sort of really get to their devices very quickly with the new metadata search.
Exactly. Yep. And that's really what it's all about. We know that people want instant access. They don't want any delay in getting their work done. So we've kind of busted through some of those barriers and made them a little nicer to access.
And there you are, and there it was. If you'd like to know more, please get in touch.